Now you're ready to swing into action with the ABDick T51 Swing Away Color Head. Today you're going to learn about the smooth and profitable relationship between your new color head and your ABDick 9800 series printing press. Yes, the T-head is compatible with each of these ABDick models, adding the same two-color versatility to each without complicated installation. The color head is pure enhancement to the fine ABDick offset you already own, doubling your productivity by printing two colors in a single pass and with hairline accuracy. A second color head also gives your customers greater options for adding excitement and interest value to their printed messages or graphic designs. For running solids like outlines around a screen with solid type over reverse copy, an outline with colored type dropped out, or solid over solid. And when it comes to overprinting screens, you can offer two screens to make a third color, a screen over a halftone for highlight, a halftone over a solid, or a true duotone. And watch the T-head make your four-color process jobs really swing, allowing 4 images to be printed in 2 passes. We'll be demonstrating using a 9850 press. If you're unfamiliar with this model, you may want to stop and refer to the ABDick 9850 Operator's Manual and operational videotape before we begin. Make sure you have your T51 Operator's Manual handy for easy reference throughout the tape. Think of the color head as a clone of the offset's ink, water, and image system, like a child of the parent press. A closer look at its controls shows the similarities between the two. The color head features a single control lever identical to the press. Each lever position is illustrated below it on the side panel, beginning with neutral, then water forms on, ink and water forms on, and image to put the T-head plate in contact with the parent press blanket cylinder. Below the single lever are 3 knobs. 1 and 2 are ink forms. The third is the water form. All are controlled from the single lever. Moving to the right, the water fountain dial for increasing or decreasing the amount of moisture entering the inking system. Moving to the non-op side of the machine, you'll notice the ink fountain lever for regulating the flow of ink to the rollers. Below it is the fountain solution control knob. The peg above the knob shows the degree to which the fountain is distributing moisture. A low level is recommended for color head operation. To the left is the water ductor lockout lever. It works the same way as the press. Up to lock out the ductor roller, down to put it in contact with the pan roller. Lastly, the control on the lower left regulates the pressure between the color head's plate cylinder and the parent press blanket. We'll talk about making this adjustment later. Above is the ink fountain ratchet that rotates the ink fountain roller during inking and during cleanup. This is a good point at which to talk about the T51's own internal roller design. Its water system is segregated, meaning the water rollers are never directly in contact with the ink rollers, as this diagram illustrates. If you're thinking that means ink up is a complicated matter, we'll show you how easy a few simple steps can make it. The necessity of remembering that the system is segregated will become more apparent during inking and cleanup. You might say that the operating relationship between the parent press and the T-head is a matter of tack. You want the color head to provide the least tacky ink for the smoothest second color application. To achieve this, the T-head's fountain solution should vary somewhat from the solution in the parent press. In other words, no alcohol should be added. Follow this recommendation and your T51 will perform with utmost consistency. First, check that the water ductor lockout latch is up in the lockout position. Because we're using a metal plate, mix your fountain solution of 2 ounces of 4-1115 blue fountain concentrate and 30 ounces of distilled water. Invert the fountain solution bottle into the holder. The solution should just touch the bottom of the water fountain roller. If not, you can raise the holder with this adjusting screw during initial installation. The plate loads in identical fashion to the parent press. Crease the plate. Hold it taut as you rotate the hand wheel to wind it around. Remember that the lead edge swivels, so watch to keep the edge of the plate parallel with the edge of the cylinder. Now clamp the tail and tighten the knurled knobs below it. Wipe the plate thoroughly with water, a step that will prove vital during ink up. Move the color head's ink control lever up to the midway point to ensure a moderate flow of ink. Like a typical ink up, turn all the fountain screws off. Then give each one a quarter turn to allow for even inking across the fountain. Apply ink to the ink fountain and turn the parent press on. Observe as the ink rollers become well covered with ink. Remember the segregated water rollers we already mentioned? You'll notice that they have not been covered with ink. It will be necessary to ink up the plate in order to transfer the ink back to those rollers. Then clean up the plate before imaging begins. Move the control lever to the ink and water forms on position. Watch as the plate is completely covered with ink. Then return the control lever to neutral. Now let's take a look at those water rollers. You'll see that they have received ink via the plate. Give the water fountain dial a good spin to allow water to enter the system quickly. Move the water ductor lockout latch down to put it in contact with the pan roller. Watch the non-image areas of the plate clean up. Then move the lever back to neutral. The segregated system is really very easy to work with. Before operation can begin, it is essential that the parent press image is positioned first. Then the T51 image is aligned with it. Matching the action, step for step between the parent press and the color head is the secret behind compatible operation. To begin with, check that the parent press is in neutral. Also that the T-head control lever is in neutral. And turn the parent press on. Commit to memory the following 4 steps that integrate the printing action. Water, water, ink, ink, look, look, and feed image. It's simplistic, but it works. Here's how. On the parent press, hold the water lever down for 8 to 10 revolutions, metering ample moisture into the system. At the T-head, move the control lever to water forms on. Now put the parent press lever in the ink position and move the corresponding lever on the T-head to ink. All forms are now carrying ink and water to the plate. Next, observe the plate on the parent press to make sure it's running clean. Check that the T51 plate is also clean and ink-free in non-image areas. Only with clean plates should you continue. Lastly, instead of moving to the image position on the parent press, go directly to the feed button, allowing 2 or 3 sheets to advance. Simultaneously, move the control lever of the color head to image. Don't let the press idle with the paper feed off while the ink and water are turned on. This will cause the ink to build up on the blanket. Now, shut the press feed off. Simultaneously, put the T-head in neutral and the press in neutral. Then shut the press off. Now, check your proof sheet for necessary adjustments. With this sequence, water, water, ink, ink, look, look, and feed image, smooth operation is virtually guaranteed. Make these steps automatic and commit yourself to checking the plates every time. Assuming the copy is perfect, let's take a look at the color head in motion. Certainly one of the benefits of having the color head is the versatility of color and copy variations you now have at your disposal. However, certain demands will require special consideration. For example, when applying direct color on color or overprinting, follow these rules. Run a light ink in the parent press and a dark ink in the T51. Use a fully transparent color. Avoid semi-transparent or opaque ink that will not trap properly. Make sure the dark color ink has less tack than the light color. You can alter the degree of tack with a tack reducer if necessary. If you anticipate a problem due to the amount of overlay, you can eliminate it. Drop out the background of the underlying color by reversing it and fitting the other color in instead. Thanks to the single blanket, you'll get a perfect fit. A crooked plate can easily be straightened without removing it from the cylinder. First, loosen the tail plate clamp. Below it, you'll see a knurled nut that adjusts the angle of the plate. Turn that nut clockwise to move the tail edge away from the operator side. Turn the nut counterclockwise to bring the tail toward the operator side. This demonstration will help you remember the direction of the adjustment you want to make. Clockwise, the edge moves away. Counterclockwise, the edge moves toward the operator. Either way you adjust, the lead edge clamp will automatically pivot to accommodate the movement. These angular adjustments may require greater sensitivity on your part. In most cases, the plate edge holes are larger than the pins. You may end up turning the nut more than anticipated to compensate for the movement. Remember to tighten the lock nut after the adjustment is made and the plate is secure. Note that the safety cover will not need to be open, as we've done, in order for you to make these adjustments. To make vertical raise-lower adjustments on the color head, use a T-wrench from the tool pack. First, raise the safety cover. Turn the parent press hand wheel until the cylinder's lead edge pins are lined up beneath this support rod. Loosen the nut that faces the operator to free the plate for adjusting. Insert the T-wrench into this opening. If you've positioned the cylinder properly, the notched tip of the wrench should engage firmly. Loosen the wrench to the left, a quarter turn. Now make your adjustment by turning the press hand wheel left to lower the lead edge or right to raise it. LL, left lower, and RR, right raise, is an easy way to remember it. To judge the degree of movement, carefully watch the gear teeth here in relation to the block. So you'll have adjusted 2 teeth to the right, 1 tooth to the left, etc. Once you've adjusted to your need, tighten the T-wrench to the right and remove it. When very tight register is required and you find that you might be a dot off, micro-vertical adjustments can be done. These, however, are too precise to be done with the hand wheel. As shown before, line up the cylinder pins with the support rod and insert the T-wrench. Again, locate the nut, but this time tighten it to the right with 2 or 3 turns. Now loosen the T-wrench with a quarter turn left, a very important step. Take the 3/8 wrench from the tool pack. This time the flats on the surface of the nut will serve as your scale of adjustment. For ease of identification, you might want to color every other flat as we've done here. Using the wrench, determine how many flats to the right or left you need to adjust the image. To raise the image, lower the wrench. To lower the image, raise the wrench. As a reminder, a directional decal is on the cover above the nut. With your adjustment made, tighten the T-wrench and remove it. Horizontal or side-to-side adjustments can be made while the color head is running or still. This simple procedure is done with the horizontal adjusting wrench. You'll see that this wrench is much shorter than the T-wrench. Therefore, it doesn't need to be engaged or seated, just inserted here. Following the decal on the knob handle, turn the wrench counterclockwise to bring the image toward the operator, clockwise to move the image away. All of the adjustments we just made lock the T-head image to the parent press image, since the only thing they have in common is the blanket cylinder. Cleanup begins with both the parent press and the T51 in neutral. But first, the roller configuration bears repeating, with a reminder that the water rollers do not contact the ink rollers. For this reason, blanket wash used during cleanup will not automatically reach down to those water rollers. Watch our cleanup carefully for the proper way to reach all rollers. Step 1 is to remove all ink from the fountain with cardstock, leaving the water in the trough. Move the water ductor roller control up, taking it out of contact with the pan roller. Mount a cleanup mat to the color head master cylinder. Apply 4-4315 blanket wash to the upper ink rollers. The angled spout on the blanket wash bottle will permit you to now apply blanket wash to the water rollers, being careful not to get any on the silver water fountain roller. Move the single lever to the ink up position. Now the ink form rollers and the water form roller are in contact with the cleanup mat. As the mat inks up, turn the forms off. Stop and replace mats as they become inked, repeating until you obtain a barely inky mat. You'll notice that the color head will clean up much faster than the parent press since it carries less ink with less tack. Now remove the water fountain bottle and drain the solution. Wipe the water fountain roller first with 4-8014 plate cleaner, then with 4-1175 alcohol, and follow up with a liberal coating of 4-1015 blue etch. Finally, hand clean the ink fountain and replace it. Your T51 can be disengaged for single color operation of your press. The convenience of swing away is as simple as this. Remove the water bottle, then the drip tray, which should be rinsed with water. Disconnect the safety cover interlock cord from its socket. Bring the swing away support arm in and under the T-head unit, allowing the bottom hooks to overlap the support rod here. Insert the T-wrench into the opening beneath the water regulating knob and turn it to the left. You'll observe the locking pin on the rod snap into position, positively engaging the lift fingers. Loosen the lock knobs on each side and lift the bolts toward the operator. Detach the T51 from the parent press by turning this disengage knob to the right. If turning by hand is difficult, use the T-wrench. Next, insert the T-wrench into and loosen the screws below on each side of the unit. Turn the swing away crank and watch the color head lift up and away. Now you can easily swing the unit to the right and out of the way. Remember to add this replacement safety guard before you operate the parent press alone. Here's a tip if it becomes necessary to swing away the T-head to change a blanket during the running of a job. Note the position of the pointer on the scale adjacent to the blanket. That way you'll be able to reposition in approximately the same spot when you swing the color head back into place. Now let's reinstall the T51. Remove the extra safety cover and swing the unit back toward the press. Crank the swing away handle to the left till the unit drops down into place. Continue to lower the color head till the support rod sits in the brackets below. You should be able to easily rotate the disengage knob counterclockwise until the T-head engages. Attach the turnbuckles inside each cover and tighten the lock knobs on the outside. Use the T-wrench to tighten the side screws, doing the non-operator side first. With the T-wrench, turn the locking shaft clockwise to disengage it from the lift fingers. Pull the swing-away support arm out of the way. Reconnect the safety interlock wire. And lastly, reposition the drip pan. Today you've gained more than just versatile two-color capability. You actually have 3 presses in the space of 1. Your color head can function independently. Swing away and use your parent press alone. Or take full advantage of your T51's compatibility with your press through all of the make-ready and printing steps we've just described. Now a precise second color is easier than ever. And you can swing away anytime according to your needs. Remember, too, that all of the supplies we've used with the T51, from fountain solution to cleanup mats to ink, are available from ABDick's full line of top quality supplies. Simply contact your local sales outlet. Your ABDick sales representative will be glad to answer any further questions you have about the color head. And refer to your operator's manual for additional guidance. From now on, watch your two-color jobs really swing with the ABDick T51 Swing Away Color Head.